We don't normally get a whole lot of news here in Canada on Fridays, but today is an exception. This entire week has actually been an exception. It's been madness, chaos, especially on the House floor. But never mind what has happened. Let's talk about what's just announced today. We have confirmed dollar amounts, how much money Canada is spending, the government is spending towards every single refugee or what they're eligible for. And you are going to be absolutely shocked at how high that amount of money is. And I'll be honest, I think a lot of us are going to start to want to identify as a refugee here in Canada if that means we get the amount of money that we're going to be taking a look at. And then yesterday, or I guess earlier this morning, I posted a video about Jagmeet Singh and how he was allegedly drunk in the House of Commons on Wednesday or Thursday. And following that, there was a massive outbreak on the House floor where Greg Fergus abused his power. You've all seen the video. It's where Pierre Poilievre pretty much got ejected. He muted his mic and they had a lot of back and forths and it got totally out of control. That video has like 140,000 views. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go see it. But there was actually an exchange that happened between Jagmeet Singh, leader of the NDP, and Pierre Poilievre, the leader of the opposition, soon to be Canada's next prime minister. And we've only been able to speculate based off of lip reading because the microphones were kind of muted. You could kind of hear a little bit of what's said, but also at the same time, you can't hear it crystally. A Conservative MP has just confirmed the interactions that took place during that exchange. What was said, who intimidated who, and you know what is potentially going to come. So this kind of adds on a little bit more towards the rhetoric of was Jagmeet Singh drunk, or more importantly, is Jagmeet Singh a bully? I will let that up to you. I'll leave that up to you to decide. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video, everybody. Before we get into it, I do want to encourage everyone to smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't yet already. It does really help grow the channel. YouTube does this really, really weird thing where it unsubscribes people automatically or they do it manually. So you may have already subscribed. Chances are you have already subscribed in the past, but it's also very likely that they've unsubscribed you. So just do us both a favor and check to see that. And without further ado, let's get into it. Now, if you want to take a look at just the Jagmeet stuff, then skip a few minutes ahead because that's where it's going to be, because I do want to cover a little bit more of the news that's happening here in Canada, such as the polls. You got Conservatives still sitting at 219 projected seats with a bottom line of 189 and a top end of 240. Justin Trudeau has gone down from in the 70s to 68 projected seats, the Bloc at 40, and then Jagmeet Singh, the number is so small, I always have to zoom in, not to be condescending. I wouldn't do that to Jagmeet just because my eyesight is so bad, right? 14 projected seats. 14 projected seats. He's almost in the single digits projected seats. Oy, yay, Jagmeet. The only way he could possibly get to the top of this is if he continues to try and bully his way there. Then you got Pierre Poilievre and Conservatives at 99% likely of winning the most seats and 99% likely of winning a majority government. So no real changes there yet. But let's get into a little bit more American stuff. Just a couple things, such as Donald Trump, who was caught waving to somebody who gave him the middle finger and then slipped him the middle finger, but reverse. So instead of the back of his hand, he gave him the palm of his hand. Pretty funny and kind of based, if I'm being totally honest. And then you have a video like this of someone who's trying to impersonate President Donald Trump, dressing up like him and dancing like him, going to stand with Palestinian protesters.
Palestine will live forever. When people are occupied, resistance is justified.
Not too bad, not too shabby. That's kind of funny, but also it's a good reminder that, hey, the American elections are right around the corner, and everything that all the suppression and, you know, democracy kind of going out the window as we know it here in Canada is also at stake simultaneously at a much larger scale in America. So when it's come time to vote, people, make sure you're voting wisely. And speaking of wise, Bank of Canada has overturned, or I guess retracted, one of the things that they wanted to do. CBDCs or whatever that's called. I'm not too familiar on that, but nonetheless, a digital currency. So the Bank of Canada has announced that it will be dropping its plan to create a Bank of Canada regulated digital currency after years of consideration. And you can see in the comments, people are saying big win for freedom, big win for Canada. Screw you, CTV, CBC, Toronto Star, for your lies. This was a conservative conspiracy theory. Middle finger, just like Donald Trump gave that protester. Good news, but is there a catch to this? So there is no catch. Bank of Canada explained the decision by saying its research work on the digital Canadian dollar was complete and other payments issues had been more pressing. The body of knowledge built over recent years will be invaluable if, at some point in the future, Canadians, through their elected representatives, decide they want or need a digital Canadian dollar. The Bank of Canada will continue monitoring Global Retail Central Bank digital currency, CBDC, developments and publish related research. Now, personally, I think that Canada should be invested in Bitcoin. There's a lot of countries out there that are doing that. We have a lot of areas where we could set up some, Bitcoin mining facilities. I don't think most people would have a problem if Canada invested $1 billion in a facility or something, a multi-million-dollar facility out in the cold, bro. We've got all the land. We've got all the land. We've got all the cold land. You do it up north somewhere. You set up a massive factory and you just mine it. You don't even have to heat it because the GPUs, the NVIDIA GPUs, will heat the place, and that's why it needs to be in the cold. And it seems like a real good way for Canada to at least hold on to some assets, considering Canada doesn't have any gold. We used to have gold. Now China has all the gold. Canada, for some reason, refuses to hold on to, doesn't have a gold reserve. It doesn't make any sense. So Canada needs some serious management, shifting, right? Pierre Poilievre has said he's pro-Bitcoin. You also have both, if I'm not mistaken, both presidential candidates have announced that they are super pro-Bitcoin. Obviously, a little bit more leaning towards Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, who actually know what they're talking about. But I don't know if I've heard Kamala Harris actually say that she's against Bitcoin, but maybe somebody can correct me down in the comments, do a little fact check on that. And speaking of need some new management, recently another liberal jumped ship, said, I am done with Justin Trudeau. I can't do this anymore. You are failing. Pablo Rodriguez was transport minister. He was a Liberal MP for like 20 some years. Absolutely insane, his loyalty to that party. And he's now left to be independent in Quebec. So he's not out of politics. He's just out of Trudeau's fingers, right? He's out of the manipulation that Trudeau has on certain people. And stepping into his shoes is Anita Anand. She's been shuffled more than Margaret Trudeau at a Rolling Stones concert, says government corrupt. It's not hard to suspect her as one of the 11 key traders in government. Trudeau can't fire her because she knows too much. And she officially takes over the role of transport minister in addition to her current role as president of the Treasury Board. I'm looking forward to the work ahead, she says. And then she thanks her colleague and her friend, Pablo Rodriguez. Kind of crazy. You see the top comment here says, how does this new job enrich your husband? So that's kind of an interesting little fact, is a lot of these MPs, these Liberal MPs, their spouses hold a significant amount of assets, right? For maybe a household income of $300,000, $400,000 a year. Collectively, somehow these people are tens of dozens of millionaires. It doesn't make any sense at all. But I'll let you guys think down below in the comments. And then you have kind of an expose here brought to us by Table Salt on X. Highly recommend you guys go and follow that account. Newly leaked document reveals just how much Canadian refugees get. Remember, if they are in a hotel, they also get $4,000 a month in hotel and food benefits. But he quickly corrected himself down in the comments, saying, correction, if they are in a hotel, they get $6,300 a month in benefits, $125 a day for hotel, $85 or so for food. That's a lot of money. To whom it may concern, I'm writing on behalf of my client, Mr. Censored. And you can see here under the RAP program, the clients receive a monthly allowance of just about $1,900. To supplement their income, the clients are also entitled to monthly earnings of $749 under the employment incentive policy of the RAP program. And then child tax benefit, approximately $1,800, and a client who's eligible for a monthly allowance of $500 under the housing top-up allowance. The family also gets a startup allowance of $8,326.14. That is a lot of money. United Way stamp on the bottom, and you've got the letterhead on the top. I mean, it's up to you to determine whether this is legitimate or not. It's a pretty reliable source, so I'll leave that up to you. But if all that checks out, that is absolutely insane. And speaking of insane, now we're going to be talking about Jagmeet Singh. So earlier today, I posted a video about Jagmeet being drunk in the House of Commons. And it was in reference to this specific moment right here. So this is a clip from the video. You can see me at the bottom here. Let's just take a look.
Impacts of a dangerous shortage of frontline healthcare workers. Family medicine, family healthcare workers. They're worried about specialist shortages, nurse shortages. The Conservatives want to make people pay to receive healthcare, and the Liberals are too weak to stop them. Why the Liberals letting Conservatives force people to pay out of pocket to receive healthcare?
In case you missed it, I'm going to play that small clip again. This is where someone who's close to Jagmeet can hear him talk and can probably also smell his breath. Listen for the words, "Are you drunk?" Here we go.
And the Liberals are too weak to stop them. Why the Liberals letting Conservatives force people to pay out of pocket to receive healthcare?
Let me know down. Are you drunk? And so just before that, you had a moment here where Jagmeet Singh kind of went toe-to-toe with Pierre Poilievre. So let's take a look at this here. After Pierre called Jagmeet Singh a phony and a fraud, which was moments before we saw Jagmeet Singh talk in the House of Commons, Singh appeared to lose his effing mind and tell Pierre Poilievre, "I'm right here. Why is Jagmeet challenging everyone to a fight these days?"
Between NDP leader Jagmeet Singh and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre sat back down after saying what he just said about Jagmeet Singh, and Jagmeet Singh stood up and was yelling towards him. They sit on both sides of the aisle. You can see Conservatives there kind of looking down at Jagmeet Singh while he was standing up and saying things loudly. It was overheard that he said, "I'm right here." It's not clear specifically what else was said, but you can see there Conservatives clearly saying things to him as well and playing into the heat of the moment there. So it's after that the Speaker of the House kind of stood up and tried to quiet everybody down.
Yeah, and he abused his power by continuously muting that microphone. Now, we have official confirmation now. We have official confirmation as to what it is that Jagmeet Singh said. Jasraj Singh, who's a Conservative MP, says, "Let's be clear about what really happened in the House of Commons yesterday. After our leader, Pierre Poilievre, called out Jagmeet Singh for being a phony and a fraud and selling out Canadians who expected him to be more than Trudeau's lapdog, especially since, he's torn up this coalition, but isn't really done with the coalition. The leader of the NDP, Jagmeet Singh, stepped into the aisle and started pointing and flexing and challenged our leader to a fight. Our side chuckled at Jagmeet's childish stunt, but is that really the conduct of a party leader? He sold out Canadians who expected him to oppose Justin Trudeau, and his response is to demand a fight. Maybe CTV should ask him about that." Now, I have personally gone on X and I have said that I would like for a fight between Pierre Poilievre and Jagmeet Singh to happen. I would be a moderator. I would be a commentator. I would absolutely volunteer for that. If Pierre Poilievre got in a boxing ring with Jagmeet Singh or even Justin Trudeau, I think that we should be for this. I think that most of Canadians should say, you know what, let's just put it out on the table and let's fight. Charity match. And the winner decides which charity the money goes to, the money that's raised, right? This should be an incredible moment to bring Canadians together, because there's nothing really better than watching sides that you don't agree with, all of these very contradicting, opposing views, and then putting that into a boxing fight. Hell, boxing and combat sports are extremely popular on their own. And then you bring in all of the drama that politics has, all of the controversy that politics has, all the built up tension that politics has, and it's basically like combat sports on steroids. I guarantee you that it will sell out. Let me know down in the comments if that's something that you would ever be interested in, either in streaming online or attending in person. I personally think that it would be absolutely phenomenal, and I volunteer right here. I volunteer, Mr. Sunshine Baby will absolutely volunteer to be a commentator at that event. I think that we should get the ball rolling on that. But to add on to what Pierre Poilievre was saying to Jagmeet Singh here, let's take a look at this video. So you can see Pierre. Do it. Do it. Do it, they're saying. Do it. And so this is the tough guy act that Jagmeet Singh is really trying to put on. And it's really annoying. It's really annoying because you saw him do this weird song and dance, whether it was real or not. And I might actually have a video. I have some sources that would absolutely back up the idea that the back and forth exchange that Jagmeet Singh had outside of Parliament, where that heckler supposedly said, you know, you coward, you're a cowardly bastard, or whatever was said, that wasn't one of the people that we saw on camera, that was somebody else. But that's a story for a different day. And then I came across, it fooled me, I'll be honest, and this page used to fool me, but this is called Jagmeet Singh's Hypocrisy. It's a parody account. It's very clearly a parody account, but I didn't see the name of the account. All I saw was, I'm ready to fight Pierre Poilievre in a UFC style match. CBC has agreed to air it, and I've already gained my first sponsor, the Liberal Party of Canada. Come at me, bro. And it's a photo of Jagmeet Singh deadlifting 3 plates. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. So anyways, I would love the idea of getting into our politicians doing charity matches. Justin Trudeau has actually done that in the past. Many years ago, 8, 10, 12 years ago, he did a charity boxing match. And so this wouldn't be the first of its kind, but it would be something that we all get to experience today in recent days. And I think with all the built up tension, it would be a phenomenal way of bringing the country together. But let me know again what you guys think about that down below. And now we have a long interaction between Jagmeet Singh and one of the Wellington regulars, I believe is what they're called, the Right Blend. So a woman who lost both her sons during lockdowns confronts NDP leader Jagmeet Singh, who supported the policies. Let's take a look at this.
Hi, Mr. Singh. How are you? Can I ask you something? Why did you not turn down the $10,000 raise that you guys all got on the same day that our taxes all increased? So why don't you take that $10,000? I'm sure you were the last group in this country that needed a raise, and give it to the people who truly do need it. Well, why don't you take your $10,000 and give it to some of the people? Like, why wouldn't you? But you didn't need that $10,000 from the Canadian people.
So as you can see, tensions are still pretty high. Jagmeet at least gave the time of day for a little bit to Canadian citizens, but we're going to shift away from that, and we're going to take a look at a very recent press conference that Jagmeet did here. Let's take a look at this.
New Democrats came to Ottawa to get stuff done, to work for people, to fight for people, not to play Pierre Poilievre's conservative games. So we will not be supporting Pierre Poilievre's motion. His plan is to not only cut pharmacare, he wants to cut health care. He wants to cut pensions. He wants to cut dental care. Our plan is to stop him and then to strengthen our healthcare system, strengthen pensions, make sure that dental care is there for everyone who needs it. The decision moving forward is far too important for Canadians and for the middle class. And so that's why we're not going to let Pierre Poilievre tell us what to do. We're not going to listen to someone who wants to cut the things that people need. Right now, Canadians need relief, not more cuts. We've got people's back.
This guy is so weird. He goes around and does this high production Hollywood-like breakup video with Justin Trudeau announcing that he's done with the coalition and that an election could occur sooner because the coalition was done. And then Pierre Poilievre presents him on a silver platter the opportunity for an election. And he is publicly denouncing that we need an election right now. No, we don't need that. I'm not voting for that. That's absolutely crazy. It just doesn't make any sense. This guy is really positioning himself to be more and more like a bully. He takes shots at Canadians. He tries to intimidate Canadians to their face. He also on the House floor is extremely unparliamentary, and I would personally like to see him get into a fight with the leader of the opposition or even Justin Trudeau and let them figure it out in a boxing match. But let me know down in the comments if you guys would actually like to see that or not. This is the end of the video. Everybody, on your way out, if you haven't yet already, I'd highly encourage you guys to smash that like button and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.